From this point forward, I am no longer responsible for the spoilers that I am about to bestow upon you.
Oh, it's good to be back.
I want one.
No.
If you can make God bleed, people will cease to believe in him. And the sharks will come. All I have to do is sit here and watch as the world will consume you.
Our priority is to get the Iron Man weapon turned over to the United States of America.
I am Iron Man. The suit and I are one.
Contrary to popular belief, I know exactly what I'm doing.
What I saw you do to Tony Stark on that track, wow. You need my resources.
This whole lone gunslinger act's unnecessary. You don't have to do this alone.
I hope you're ready.
Come on!
Mr. Stark displays textbook narcissism. Agreed?
What is up, Birdcage Mafia? It's your boy KCB from the B1C, coming at you from the bird's nest nestled right here in the heart of the Blue Ridge Mountains of northeastern Tennessee. I sure hope everyone's having a healthy and beautiful day out there today, and if you're a subscriber, I want to thank you very much for coming back and hanging out with me today, and if this happens to be your first time with us, well, welcome to the show. Where we review the entire universe of Marvel and Star Wars, as well as character origins of the same. If that sounds up your alley, go ahead and drop down there and subscribe and leave a comment, and what that's going to do is enter you into our 1,000 subscriber giveaway that I will explain at the end of the video. So now let's take a jump back in the past with our favorite arrogant, self-centered, sociopathic billionaire who doesn't play well with others and cannot stand to share his toys. The one, the only, you know him, you love him, Tony Stank. I mean Stark.
Are you Tony Stank?
Yes, this is Tony Stank. Table for one, Mr. Stank. Please, by the bathroom.
As we dive headfirst into Iron Man 2. Okay. We begin the movie with us here in the press conference that Tony admitted to the world that I am Iron Man.
I am Iron Man.
But we soon realize it's actually the media coverage of the press conference of a Russian news program as the media covers Tony Stark's disclosure of his identity of Iron Man.
I am Iron Man.
And of course, at that very moment, we meet Ivan Vanko, whose father, Anton Vanko, an actual former Stark Industry employee, hands something to Ivan and says, upon seeing the press conference and having the blueprints from his late father, he begins to build a miniature arc reactor, and the way Ivan builds his arc reactor is the same, or almost the same way that we see him do it in a cave out of a box of scraps.
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
Similar to Stark's Power 2 electric Indiana Jones looking whips to mount on each arm. Then, I said BAM, baby! We flash forward 6 months to find Stark acting like a rock star, of course, and using his Iron Man suit for peaceful means. He has a showdown with the government as they try to pressure him into selling his designs. Well, instead, he pretty much tells them to go pound sand.
Priorities to get the Iron Man weapon turned over to the people of the United States of America.
Well, you can forget it. You can't have it.
Humiliates Hammer.
We have somebody here who is an expert on weapons. I would now like to call Justin Hammer.
The record reflect that I observed Mr. Hammer entering the chamber, and I am wondering if and when any actual expert will also be in attendance.
And tells them that his tech is 10 years or better away from anyone, including Hammer, from having it.
Yeah, I'd say most countries 5-10 years away. Hammer Industries 20.
Well, then, in Stark fashion, he pretty much does a mic drop with the American Senate.
I try to play ball with these ass clowns.
Q, Mr. Stark. Q, buddy. Good day.
Okay.
You've been a delight.
And decides it's time to throw a party as well as continue the legacy of his father, Howard, by reinstituting the Stark Expo in New York City's Flushing Meadow Corona Park.
Welcome back to the Stark Expo. Please welcome my father, Howard.
Everything is achievable through technology. The Stark Expo. Welcome.
Well, later Stark learns that the palladium core in the arc reactor that's keeping him alive and powers the armor is slowly poisoning him to death, and he cannot find a substitute. Growing increasingly reckless and despondent about, of course, his impending death,
For mankind, and will one day rid society of all its ills. Soon technology will affect the way you live your life every day. No more tedious work.
which, you can't blame the man, but not to mention that he's choosing not to tell anybody at all about his condition. He appoints his personal assistant, Miss Pepper Potts, as the CEO of Stark Industries.
You do it.
I do what?
Excellent idea. I just figured this out. You run the company. I hereby irrevocably appoint you chairman and CEO of Stark Industries, effective immediately. It's you. It's always been you.
And hires Stark employee Natalie Rushman to replace her as his personal assistant.
What's your name, lady?
Rushman, Natalie Rushman.
Rule number 1, never take your eye off your opponent.
Happy!
That's what I'm talking about.
Just slip.
I want one.
No.
But Stark, in true Stark fashion, after all this is done, competes in the Monaco Historic Grand Prix. Thinking he's going to die, I guess he's wanting to go out with his boots on. And seeing how he owns the car and the team, the driver can get as mad as he wants, but he's going to drive the car. But this, unfortunately, is where he is attacked in the middle of the race by Vanko and his big old whippity-doo-dahs. Who is wielding, of course, the electrified whips. Stark finally, after they cut the Rolls Royce in half, dons on the armor and defeats Vanko. But in the process, the suit is severely damaged. Well, Vanko, as him and Stark are conversating, explains that his intentions was not to defeat Stark, but as he says, If God bleeds, is he still God?
If you can make God bleed, then people will cease to believe in him. And there will be blood in the water, and the sharks will come.
So he was only wanting to prove to the world that Iron Man was not invincible. So, impressed by Vanko's performance, Stark's rival, Justin Hammer, fakes Vanko's death while breaking him out of prison and asks him to build a line of armored suits to upstage Stark at the expo.
But if I might make a suggestion, you don't just go and try and kill the guy. I think, if I may, you go after his legacy. I think, if I may, you need my resources.
During what Stark believes is going to be his final birthday party, he gets shit-faced drunk while wearing the Iron Man suit and just has him a good old time. He really throws down pretty much, but disgusted, Stark's best friend, U.S. Air Force Lieutenant Colonel James Rhodes,
You gotta be kidding me. Handle it, or I'm gonna have to.
fights Stark, dons Stark's prototype armor, and tries to restrain him.
You gonna take a shot? Put it down! No! Drop it, Tony! Take it!
The fight ends in a stalemate, and Rhodes confiscates the armor for the U.S. Air Force, while Tony decides that it's time to go have a few donuts.
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to exit the donut.
Well, Nick Fury, the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., approaches Stark, revealing that Rushman is actually Agent Natasha Romanoff, the Black Widow.
We've secured the perimeter, but I don't think we should hold it for too much longer.
Huh. You're fired.
That's not up to you.
And that Howard Stark was a S.H.I.E.L.D. founder whom Fury knew personally.
And clearly you know my dad better than I did.
As a matter of fact, I did. He was one of the founding members of S.H.I.E.L.D.
What?
Fury also explains that Vanko's father and Howard Stark invented the arc reactor together, but when Anton tried to sell it, Stark decided to have him imported.
Just him? Or was Anton Vanko in on this too?
Anton Vanko is the other side of that coin. Anton saw it as a way to get rich. When your father found out, he had him deported. He spent the next 20 years in a vodka-fueled rage.
Fury gives Stark some of his father's old material and tells him that his father had faith that in Tony's time the technology should catch up and be advanced enough to finish what he started. Well, Tony discovers a hidden message in the diorama of the 1974 Stark Expo, and it proves to be a diagram of the atomic structure of a new element.
Dead for almost 20 years. Still taking me to school.
The proposed element should serve as a viable replacement for palladium.
With the aid of his AI, Jarvis, Stark synthesizes it.
You have created a new element. Sir, the reactor has accepted the modified core.
And just in the nick of time, to be truthfully, because just as soon as he does synthesize it, he learns that Vanko is still alive.
Hey, Tony, how you doing?
You sound pretty sprightly for a dead guy.
You too.
So he replaces the new element in his arc reactor and ends his palladium dependency, and also gives him a pleasant coconut taste.
Some tests, run them. And assemble the suit while you're at it. Put it together now. Ah, that tastes like coconut. Metal. Oh, wow, yeah!
Well, at the current expo, Hammer unveils Vanko's armored drones.
The Hammer drone. Army. Navy. Air Force. Marines.
Led by Rhodes, of course, in a heavily weaponized version of the prototype armor. Stark arrives to warn Rhodes, but Vanko takes remote control of all the drones, including Rhodes' armor, and attacks Stark.
Get out of here. Go. This whole system's been compromised.
Just take it outside.
Well, while all this is going on, Hammer soon gets arrested for breaking Vanko out of prison.
Who's behind this?
Ivan Vanko.
Where is he?
He's at my facility.
I need NYPD, please. No.
While Romanoff and Stark's bodyguard, Happy Hogan, go after Vanko at Hammer's factory.
Get in the car. Take me to Hammer Industries.
I'm not taking you anywhere.
Fine, you want me to drive?
No, I'm driving. Get in the car.
Vanko escapes, but Romanoff returns control of Rhodes' armor to him, and I'm telling you what, just in the nick of time, because as soon as she does, Tony and Rhodes are surrounded by Vanko and all of his drones.
Reboot complete. You got your best friend back.
Thank you very much, Agent Romanoff. Formally apologize when I'm not fending off a hammeroid attack.
Well, they fight and they fight and they fight, but together Stark and Rhodes defeat Vanko and his drones, and Vanko commits suicide by blowing up his suits along with the defeated drones, and Tony just does have time enough to save Miss Pepper Potts as they fly off into the moonlight. Alone, they think, on top of a rooftop, having a moment.
Weird. No, it's not weird. It's okay, right? I'm not blaming again.
I think it was weird. You guys look like two seals fighting over a grape.
You get lost.
I was here first. Get a roof.
Unfortunately, they weren't alone, and the moment is ruined by Colonel Rhodes, of course, telling Tony that he's going to hang on to that suit for a little while, and we'll see him again, of course.
Listen, my car got taken out in the explosion, so I'm gonna have to hang on to your suit for a minute, okay? Wasn't a question.
Well, at a debriefing, Fury informs Stark that because of his difficult personality, S.H.I.E.L.D. only intends to use Tony as a consultant, but actually will use Iron Man as part of the Avengers Initiative. Tony being Tony, the only way he'll agree to be a consultant because his fees are so high is if Fury can arrange a special presentator because Stark and Rhodes are receiving medals for their heroism, and guess who it is? That's it, their old senator buddy. The next show that we're going to go over, Moon Knight Episode 6, which is the finale coming up on Wednesday, and then probably do a little bit on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, what I can get, because it's coming out the 6th, which is something that I'm very, very, very well looking forward to. I can't wait. But thank you for hanging out with me if you've made it this far, so let's go ahead and get into our giveaway. Well, folks, I can't believe that it's happened, and I am proud to announce that we have just broke the 1,000 subscriber mark. And the comments on this video, this rewatch of Iron Man 2, are going to determine the winner of our 1,000 gift card giveaway with a gift card of your choice or $100 worth of Bitcoin if you have a Bitcoin wallet. Either one you want. If you're already a subscriber, I'd like to thank you so much. And if not, go ahead and subscribe and drop a comment so you can get entered in that 1,000 gift card giveaway. And be sure that you slap that notification bell so it'll let you know when we decide to drop a little bit of knowledge. Well, folks, this is KCB from the B1C, and I'm going to get out of here, but I'll tell you what, I'll catch you on the next one.